Alright, so we're diving in. I've watched a couple YouTube videos. I got no lift, not pulling the cab. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. I've done one, I think it was like a 06 in the past without pulling the cab, just smacked a little dent in the firewall. But what I might do is I might loosen up these, or pull the bolts on these cab mounts, loosen these. I might put a jack under here, give it just a little finesse. We'll see what happens. But I've watched a few YouTube videos. I mean, I'm certified by Cummins and everything, but obviously I don't work on medium duty stuff. But we'll see. I'm gonna dig in, go ahead and start yanking the intake and batteries and all that 9 yards out. I'm not rushing like I was the last 6.0 I bulletproofed, so this will be, you know, a lot easier and everything. And honestly, I might pull the wheels off and set it down on jack stands a little bit lower, make getting in and out of the engine bay and reaching stuff and everything a little bit easier. So we'll start yanking some stuff out. Let's see if I can't tear this thing up before I fix it. Oh, got in the grind. Just ground out for the last 2 hours or so. It may not look like a lot. It might look like a lot. Honestly, I don't know. Let me get my hands situated here. So, started off, pulled the batteries, this battery tray, pulled the intake off. Once the coolant was, had coolant draining the whole time. Once the coolant was drained, yanked the degas off, pulled the that coolant hose, threw it over, and then started getting all my wiring undone, disconnecting battery cables and stuff like that. I can't remember if the last one I did, I evac the AC or not. Pretty sure I can get away with it. I don't see any reason why I can't. So the AC is still fully charged, ice cold, so I'd like to keep it that way. So I started pulling all that off, pulled my charge pipes off, pulled my upper radiator hose, got my intake elbow off, alternator, get your belt tensioner down below, pop your belt off, pop your alternator off. And then a lot of this is just like disconnecting your harnesses and everything, getting it all loose and being able to move it back and forth. I don't have my like T45, T50 here to pull my cooler off right now, so I've been working around that. Usually I would just zip the bolts out of that, pull it up out of there, and that's way out of there. Gives you a lot more room. And then on the turbo, I probably didn't need to pull it out already, but I just got antsy and bored, so went ahead, pulled my downpipe clamp off, pulled the other manifold exhaust clamp off. You got your two pedestal mount bolts. Pry popped out of there, and then I just slid it out this way. Just lift this cowling up a little bit, and it slid right out. Everything's like, you got this breather line, you got your vacuum line here. Got all this stuff kind of just tucked out of the way right now. I'll probably have to move a lot more of it. To get this head off, you got to drop the motor mount down a little bit. I got new gaskets for like the exhaust manifolds and everything, so all that's going to be taken loose and going to be fresh gaskets, all that, basically top end. I'm not going to get into the short block, but everything up here so far. But other than that, I don't really think there's much more I did. I started loosening all the intake manifold bolts. Got to get in here and get these two pain in the ass bolts and get that broke loose. You also got this coolant line right here that goes down in that hole. Just set it to the side. Careful not to break your plastic valve here. But yeah, other than that, that's where we're at. And this one actually had a leaking EGR cooler, I do believe. So yeah, we'll see when we get that yanked out. Regardless, that's where we're at on this. Also make sure I take a good enough video that I could look back on it if need be, if I forget how anything comes apart. But yeah, most of it is out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and start cracking these fuel lines and stuff, get that taken off and out of the way. And I might yank the intake manifold tonight. I might not. It just depends. I'm not really feeling like doing too much work today, so I'll probably just do a little bit brackets and some other bolts and probably just wrap it up for the night. But we'll see. I'll do some more and then I'll check back in. It's the next day. I wasn't really feeling doing too much today, honestly, so I've been cleaning parts and shit like that, but went ahead and yanked the intake manifold off. Got the oil cooler out. Let's pull this valve cover. Started, I sprayed down all the exhaust bolts and everything. I need to get to the back and get my up pipes off. I pulled this shroud out of the way so I could, I honestly forgot to crack this fan loose before I took all the belt off and everything, or I would have just slid this whole thing out of here, so kind of screwed myself there. But I at least opened all this up so I can shove all my harnesses in here and everything, get it all out of the way. But yeah, I've got to go grab the cherry picker from my buddy tomorrow after work so I can get these heads yanked off. But got that. I just drug it outside. I just took the whole exhaust off. Don't mind this mess. I don't want to talk about that. So yeah, that's that. We're gonna go grab the cherry picker. I need to rip this stock down pipe out so I can get that changed out. I'll probably do it after I get the head off, honestly, or I might chop it, yank it out in 2 pieces. So we'll see. But I'm gonna go grab the cherry picker tomorrow. We're gonna pull this motor mount, get this head, get that head yanked off, and look at it. There's a little more coolant in the exhaust than I expected. I did get the EGR cooler off, and that thing was full of coolant. So it tells me that it was most likely cracked inside, but I gotta check these heads over real good. If I got to take them to a shop, I will. Really not wanting to, but we'll see. New heads was a little more than I wanted to justify right now, so. But yeah, here we are. That's where it's at. Gotta love it. I did take some of the parts over. I got a pressure washer, not a pressure washer. I got this little parts washer ordeal set up over here. So I went and washed down the intake for the better part, the fuel module. I don't know if we can see it in here. I mean, the inside of this thing was soaked. So yeah, but I'm just been cleaning up some stuff. I need to get this valve cover, like just trying to stay ahead and get everything cleaned and whatnot. So once I get the heads set back down on there, it's quick. Got all my gaskets and stuff laid out. I need to start getting all it ready. Like I can start getting all the new valve cover seals in and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm getting there slowly. I need to probably go throw this in the parts washer. Let me see, she's pretty dirty. I think I had like a turbo drain leak or something, because there was definitely a little bit of residue on the turbo pedestal here or something. But we'll get all new tubes, all new O-rings and stuff set in. And yeah, I gotta yank these pipes off so I can put my delete pipe in, get rid of the EGR hookup, and we'll go from there. So kind of just little piddly stuff now until I go grab the cherry picker. It's another day, skipped a few steps, bought some wheels, did some work, but it's a part. I need to do a little bit more cleaning, and then I'm gonna set the heads back on. I'm waiting on my updated push rods to come in. I got the new versions just to be safe, since I'm already in here and need to just go ahead and put them in. I forgot to order them when I ordered everything else. But so there's a video on here on YouTube that the dude shows how to do it with the cab on, and he talks about the motor mounts. And so I loosened up the bolts on the transmission mount, left the nuts on the very end, took the nuts off of this one, jacked it up a little bit, and it makes it 10 times easier to get everything in there, wrestle off your oil rail with your standpipe and everything. Did all that, yanked the head off, and then I pulled that whole motor mount out and then lowered it down, loosened that motor mount up the passenger side and jacked up a little bit on that side, and it rotates this engine over so far that like I was able to get in there with my impact, run all the head bolts out except for like those inner two, get your oil rail off, didn't have to worry about the standpipe and everything and hitting that. And it gives you so much room, makes it so easy. Yank that head out of there. I got the heads over here. I went ahead and pulled them apart, got new exhaust gaskets in there, got these all cleaned up and checked. I was going to pull this rocker assembly or rocker box and seal it. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet, honestly, because you got to pull the injector harness, and then with the glow plugs and everything, I'm not sure if I want to mess with it, but I'm sure if I don't, it'll end up leaking. So I got both heads sitting here, gaskets in. I got to go through and clean them up. I'll probably stain them up, spray them out, just visually check it all over, whatnot. I went ahead, so I ordered an EGR delete kit. Government made it impossible to get them stateside anymore. So it was, where'd I put it out? Some Chinesium kit. So what I did is I ended up just cutting out a plate, welded it, plugged it, put a little smiley face because, you know, no EGR is happy. And that's that. Got some more cleaning to do on some other parts and stuff, but I just want to get the head set down on the truck, and that way I can get everything. I can get the studs in, I can get that whole 9 yards. I just set these in here for Maka for picture purposes, honestly. They're not threaded in at all, but I just want to get the head set on there. Thinking the push rod should be here in 2 or 3 days. I got the fastest shipping company I could find, so we'll get it all set down in there, and then we'll slowly start setting parts back on it. But other than that, it's coming along. I gotta order a leveling kit for it, and yeah, that's that. So we'll check back in once we get the heads going back together. And I really wish I would have took this off, make it 10 times easier, but it is what it is. That's where we're at. Well, I gave up recording for a day or two, and I just worked. Wrestling these heads on by myself, not having anybody to move the cherry picker and stuff. That head, pretty simple. This one, yeah, I had to drink a few beers. Leaving the motor mounts loose, like taking the nuts off the bottom side and leaving the transmission mount loose. Jack up on this side a little bit, you can drop this head right on. Jack this one up a little bit, you can drop that head right on. Plenty of room for a torque wrench, blah, 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 blah. Went ahead, I ordered the SCT upgrade kit for the oil pump. This one is an 04 truck, so it's in the half year. Did not have it, so I went ahead and just pulled the cover, cleaned it, sealed it all up. Pulled the oil cooler module, put a new oil cooler in there, put all new seals, all the covers and everything. Just got the turbo pedestal, the EGR delete tube, and the turbo drain put on. I got all the intake and everything cleaned. I went ahead and went through and like scrubbed all these runners out with a little brush and a pick and everything, sprayed them out and shop vacuumed it out to try to get these intake runners clean. I wanted to like pressure wash the heads down, but honestly I just lost patience. I got the new push rods in there, the upgraded, slightly shorter push rods. Got all the head torqued down, marked the nuts, got the rockers all torqued down, up pipe set down, finger tight. I want to get it connected to the turbo, and then I'll suck it down on there, and then I'll tighten the turbo clamp. Up pipes are such a pain. I don't know what I covered in the video, but I ordered the delete pipe for this, but it was Chinesium, didn't have a bellow on it, and I'd rather have that extra bellow and flexibility for for one, tightening these down and getting them lined up, and two, just for movement and everything. I think it'll last longer, so I just went ahead and made that little smiley face plate. I think that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil rails put on, the new standpipes, new dummy plugs, get the valve covers covered up, covered up, Then I'll put the intake, fuel module, turbo back on. And then it's kind of just fitting the exhaust. I'm gonna throw some fluids in it. I gotta go grab some new filters. We'll crank it and see what happens. It's getting close. I mean, the parts list is getting a lot less. I gotta put the filtration system in. I gotta fit this. I'm really worried because I've been hearing a lot about fitting these 4-inch down pipes, especially on the early trucks on leaf springs instead of coil springs. Hoping it's not too much. You know, just got a few gaskets left. Man, they send this whole kit. I don't know what half of these are, honestly. Any seal I see, I just pull it out and I match it up, replace it. There's a lot of extra ones, like I didn't do valve seals. I ordered the whole oil cooler and everything. It came with all these seals. I'm not using the EGR. The oil cooler kit already came with one of these, so I didn't use that one. Yeah. We're almost there. It's parts lists are dwindling down. I still got to pull these over to the parts washer and scrub them down. Get all the gasket off. I already got all my standpipes and dummy plugs out of these. I got a whole box of acquiring parts for the trash. So I got some cleaner for the filter. I need to go ahead and clean it. But yeah, that's that. I need to go grab the tires for these, but we're getting close. I'm ready to get everything together, get it cranked over, make sure it fires, make sure we don't have any issues. Kind of just been taking my time, tedious, and cleaning and seals and everything. So I think we're coming up on like 5 days now of me just working on it after work in the gym. I've had to make some runs out of town and stuff, so it's just a little bit of here and there work. But it's getting there. It's almost to the end. So we'll get to throwing some oil rails on and valve covers and intake and everything, and we'll check back in, or we'll check back in when I crank it. I don't really know at this point. Alright, so I skipped a bunch of steps. My voice, I've kind of lost my voice. It's hard to talk. I don't remember where the last video was, but like, I've got the passenger side together and forgot to put the standpipe and the dummy plug in. So I got to tear stuff apart, put those back in there, then put all that back together. And then like I put all this side together and forgot to put the trans dipstick in. So then I had to pull the battery and the charge pipe and the glow plug module and everything out, get the trans dipstick in. And then like I got all this together, went to go do this last, couldn't get it in there, so I had to take all this. I just wasn't messing with any of it. Got the 4-inch downpipe fitted. I got the exhaust just lightly mocked up and ran to the back of the cab. That way I could just isolate it, make sure I can hear up here good. I just changed all the oil, just filled the coolant. Got everything filled, so I'm about to hop in there, crank the key, and see if we can't get this thing to fire. Alright, so I've already cranked on it for a while. Got the oil pressure built up. It already hit, and then I shut it back down so I could double check fluids. We'll crank her up here. Huh. Might have a oil pressure leak. So it's been about a week now since the last clip. Been busy, had a couple side jobs to knock out and whatnot. My voice still is a bit cooked, but it's good. I let it run, full heat cycle and everything. The oil, high oil pressure system does not bleed off now. I guess it's just had some air in it still. I flashed the tune on it, got the rest of the exhaust put on, drove it around, learned the trans, did a couple burnouts in it, and it seems to be running pretty good, pretty smooth. Still trying to run it, burn down some of the old fuel that's in it so I can put fresh in it, even though it does have some treatment in it. Did all my filters and fluids, blah, blah, blah. So it's there, it's back together. The exhaust is still on fully. I really wish I would have went with a factory downpipe. That 4-inch has been a pain. I still got to clearance it a little bit more. It rattles. Just got the leveling kit put on. Got to go get these tires mounted up. But it's on. It's good. I got the Blessed Performance Eco Beast Eco Street tune or whatever it is. Vanes closed. Give it a little bit of whistle. 4-inch downpipe, full 5-inch. Let's see. Did a cold start on it earlier today. It was about 10 degrees out. Fired right up, no problem. Alright, I've let it run for a while and warm up. It ain't bad. Pretty clean tunes, hardly any smoke. But overall, not bad. I've only been driving it around locally. I haven't got it registered yet. I've kind of just been trying to do everything. Like I said, got the lift on, pulled the steps, rain guards, everything. Got to get some lights, some fresh shocks thrown on it. But I'm gonna get my tires put on. I got some 33s for these 22s, and I'll throw those on. Probably go register it and start daily driving it. As bad of an idea as that is, but overall, it seemed pretty good. Been trying to drive it every day just to get some mileage on it, get all the trans relearned and fluid cycled and stuff. So yeah, it's never fun, especially doing it without a lift, but it's the second one I've done now, and we'll see what this has to bring, because I still got some plans on it. Whether I build it before I sell it or trade it, we'll see, but it's the start of something.